So I'll take a moment to thank all of you for taking the time, making the time to meet with me today. Our sessions, this is the fourth one out of 6 sessions we are going to run. The next two will be more in the winter time, so January, February, when we are going to do them. But I'm really excited to see so many of you interested in the topics and joining and rejoining us for the sessions. All of them get recorded and posted on our website, so we keep them for you as a reference for later as well. Okay. So with 12:30 on the clock, I'm going to start and I'm going to thank you one more time for joining us today. We have a packed session. So without further ado, I'm just going to start and jump in. Today we are talking about Microsoft 365, but before we get there, a few words about me. If this is your first time joining us, I have been with AlphaPlus for more than 20 years in different roles. This is the one I enjoy the most, the coaching services, supports, training. This is where I really kind of get involved and then excited about the technology. I do like tech, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. And especially now with all the new tools and resources and things that are shifting and changing all the time. I do recall where we were teaching Google and there was one feature that was changed and we were panicking. And now what happens is that within a day or two, you can have a totally redesigned website and you have to find your way around. So we have to learn a lot faster, which sometimes can get overwhelming. And my job at Alpha Plus is to really do coaching. That's where I work with programs one-on-one, but also workshops, PD training, presentations. So if there's anything you would like us to do, feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to get involved with you. The Lunch and Learn sessions we are doing, it's really started as a bit of a conversation with some of our coaching clients where they ask questions or they get stuck on some things. So those give us some ideas of what can we do or what we can share. And we figured maybe we can do a session, a short 30-minute session, when we can share those tools and tips with you as well. So this is where we started. However, this is only 30 minutes, so we really can't cover everything, especially when we talk about Google or Microsoft or other platforms. So we are really picking some of the tools and ideas that we think may be helpful to you as you're working with the different tools. So today we are talking about Microsoft 365, which in the past was really Office 365. And the reason I want to put a bit of context into that is that we all grew up with Microsoft Outlook tools we have been using in the office for the last 20 years or so. But very often those tools were installed on our computers. We had licenses. We couldn't use them over on a different computer because in the office, but now we are home, we couldn't really shift. But over time, a lot of those tools have evolved and changed. And the Microsoft 365 is one of those tools that is basically more online. So it's more web-based, allowing you to do more from wherever you are. And that's where we're kind of going to look at today, and then some of the tools and tips that we are going to share. However, before I jump into that, I really kind of wanted to get a bit of a sense from you which platforms or tools you're using. I know you're joining us for Microsoft 365, but I wonder, are you mostly using your cloud version? Or when you go to your computer, do you actually go through your desktop? Maybe you're using both, depending where you are. Or maybe you're only a Google user and now you want to learn more about Microsoft, or maybe you're using two platforms. So what I have done on the screen, I launched the actual question. And if you go to our website, slido.com, put in the number 3958068, you'll be able to answer the question. So I'm actually using a tool to get you involved into my presentation. If that's a bit too hard, if you have your cell phone handy, you can pull out your cell phone, scan the QR code that's showing on the screen, and the system will take you right into the actual question, and you will be able to answer the question as well. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes just to answer. As you can see, some of the answers are coming in and then changing. Because the system is kind of based on the number of answers, the system is actually displaying the information in a different way. So as you can see, at least for now, many of you are still using the desktop versions or both, kind of online and desktop as well. Some of you are using both Google and Microsoft products. And the reason I'm asking this question is because as teachers, as instructors, when we work with our clients, we may have Microsoft in our office. But very often our learners may be on both platforms. So sometimes it's good to know both and learn about both. Usually a Google user, so it's for me it's the reverse. I'm trying to learn more about Microsoft and use Microsoft to be more comfortable with that tool as well. But you can see based on your answers that many of you are starting to use both platforms. And that's great. That's really good. Some tools are very similar, some tools are very different. We actually learn as we go. So I hope some of the tips from today will help you with some of the Microsoft tools as well. But I can see the cloud version. Many of you may or may not be using it. When I say the cloud version, it's very often that you actually go through the browser. So you can go in and say, I want to access outlook.microsoft.com, and the system will put you into the actual platform, will keep you signed in. Sometimes you may not even realize you're using it. So that's a very interesting way we are looking at it as well. So with Microsoft 365, we do have conversations about costs and then actually understanding what we are using. So very briefly, there's a personal license where one user can purchase a license around $140 a year. And that allows you access to the Microsoft apps, 1 terabyte of storage. So it's a fairly large storage, but that can be installed on 5 devices. So you can have it on a laptop, desktop, phone if you want to. You can actually use the same license up to 5 devices. There's also a family or premium plans. Family is kind of more something we kind of may be using at home, up to 6 people. Each user gets 1 terabyte, and each user can install it on up to 5 devices. But what Microsoft is realizing that sometimes there could be families that are different locations, or maybe even organizations. So they call them premiums, and then organization can actually use this plan as well. And then also business license. That one is a bit bigger, comes with licensing, administrative panel, and so on. And those costs are slightly different. What actually is similar to all of them is the AI, the Copilot that comes with some of them. And based on your plan, whether it's a personal, family, or business, your Copilot AI may have usage limits. And I'm not sure if you even realize that. So you may be able to do so many queries, for example, or you may not be able to do images. It can have different restrictions. So sometimes it's good to know what is included in your package and then what is not. And if not, check because sometimes it will help you understand why some things may not be working. Now, for me, I'm going to be using examples from Microsoft 365 for Business. Now, mind you, I actually use an Apple device. So what I have done on my end is a lot of the features I'm talking about, I access through the browser. I did install the Microsoft on my device, but it is not a Windows environment. So it may have a slightly different look, but also some of the features may slightly be different. So what I'm hope to do today is actually give you 5, 6 tips. One is a bonus, but I'm going to start with the Copilot. And then really what I want to highlight is that some of the features you may or may not have explored, basic features. In our next Lunch and Learn, we are actually talking about AI overall. So the next 30 minutes in January, we will really dive in. But I really want to kind of highlight the Copilot. So what I did is I went to the Copilot website and I said, tell me what is Copilot. I actually asked AI to define it for me, and it came back with the information that it is AI-powered assistant designed to help users with a wide range of tasks, including writing, summarizing, creating visuals, generating presentations, and so on. Mind you, this is what Copilot told me it is. So that's the description it gave me. Now, the way I went into Copilot is I went into the standalone version of it. And I'm going to touch on how it's built into your applications as well. But the standalone version will be similar to when you think about ChatGPT, Gemini, and other platforms when you go in, you may have to sign in, but if you are using Microsoft products, you're automatically signed in and you can start using this tool to help you, to be your assistant that can help you with definitions, with questions, and so on. So when you go to copilot.microsoft.com, you're going to land on a website that's going to have a prompt section where you can write the question or information you want to have the Copilot help you with. It could be, you could actually add images and you can add documents to it and it will work with you as your assistant. So this is the standalone version of it. And what I really wanted to do to sort of get you thinking about Copilot, if you haven't used it or if you're starting to use it, in the ways the tool may be able to help you. So what I did is in the prompt section, I just went and I said, thinking of AlphaPlus services, I want to create a presentation about our coaching supports. Coaching is what I do, so I kind of have a good idea what I want to present, and then I we have a website and a page where we explain our coaching supports. So I went to that page, copied the link to that page, went back to Copilot, and I said, using this page, provided a link to it, and the exact language from it, create a PowerPoint presentation for me. This is the prompt I input into my Copilot. The Copilot responded and told me, okay, based on the website and the exact language you want, I created the presentation for you. You can download it. I broke it down into specific sections and so on. On the right side of my screen, you will see that I actually did a screen capture for you of what the web page actually looks like. So on the right side is our website. This is directly the information that is posted on our website. And now on the next screen, I'm starting to show you what Copilot did for me when it comes to the presentation. So first of all, it broke it down into pages, added images for me. I did not add it on my own. The system did it for me. And now it starts breaking down the information that it found on our website. So there was slide number 1. This is slide number 2 with how coaching works. Slide number 3 with information, mentioning the tools we may be looking at, breaking it down, and so on. So great. Now, one thing I want to show you is that if you really look at the slides, in my prompt, I told the system, use the exact language. Now, if you look at the breakdown and how the AlphaPlus website looks, they are not using, the system is not using the exact language. It basically is paraphrasing, rephrasing. It still keeps the information correct, but it's changing it. Now, you may have situations where you may have a document or prompt where you want the system to use the exact language. And that gets trickier. That's where you have to start working with your prompts. And sometimes it will not be perfect. So what I did is I kind of worked with it, tried a few times, and I said, I want you to use actually the language you find on this page. I want you to be very clear in this language. And the system tried over and over. And then finally started saying, we worked together regularly, started using some of the sentences, but not all of them. So sometimes when you're doing prompts and working on different things, you may want to kind of try repolish and organize and really kind of work on that prompt and add extra information to it, but it's not always perfect. So just so you know. However, it did the presentation. Even if I wanted to adapt it, that saves me time and resources than having to go from scratch. So if you have never tried or tried the prompts in Copilot for presentations, do it again and again until you really get used to it because it can save you time. Now, another thing I did is I went and I said, okay, after I did all the presentation stuff, I said, can you create a graphic based on the information you found on the website? Copilot generated the graphic for me, coaching services, images, even with bulleted points of what we provide. The system did it on its own and even explain how and why it broke it into different sections. Okay, I like it, but I really don't like the layout 1, 2, 3. Number 3 is kind of not aligned with everything else. Maybe I will do it on my own. Maybe I don't need it. I don't want them. So I can go back to Copilot and say, hey, for that coaching services graphic, remove the text. Leave images only. And the system did it for me and then adapted the image for my services. And even at the bottom, it explained that the light bulb represents ideas and the gear represents technology. So it's trying to tell you why it did this image in this specific way. So if you're ever looking for images and you're using Microsoft Copilot, the system will do it for you. Now you will ask me, can you do videos? Not yet. So right now it's mostly images, but not videos. There are other tools for that, but not there yet. So I also mentioned that Copilot can be in other apps. So if you're using Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, you may have seen it. So on my screen capture, if you are in a Word document, right on top, you're going to see a section that asks, ask me anything, I'll help you. Or there's also a Copilot icon on the right side and it will drop down things for you. What's really interesting is it can help you write your documents. So if you need to do reports or lesson plans and things like that, the system can help you. You can copy paste from somewhere else into Word and then work and polish it. It can help you generate questions and so on. And the same thing with PowerPoint and the other tools it's built into. So if you ever wondered, what can I ask Copilot when I'm actually in Word? It will make suggestions to you. It will say, do you want me to summarize this document for you? Do you want me to suggest some questions? Maybe you need this explanation in 3 bullet points to make it easier. Maybe you want me to write a paragraph for this document. It's actually kind of prompting you and telling you, this is what I can help you with. In PowerPoint, it can also summarize your presentation, generate scripts for the presentation, key takeaways, Q&As, and so on. So if you haven't used Copilot directly in your apps, don't be scared. Look for that icon for Copilot because it can make such a huge difference in becoming your assistant in what you do in your system. Okay, I'm just very quickly responding to the chat questions. Thank you for posing those. This is about the recording. We are going to share the recording, so you will have the slides and the recording going with that. But as you know, it's a 15 minutes left, so I'm going to jump to the next one. I really hope you will try the Copilot if you haven't tried it yet. But the new tool that Microsoft is starting to promote is something called Clipchamp, Video Editor. Many of you may have presentation slides, maybe doing Zoom sessions and so on, and you might be looking for a tool. At AlphaPlus, we have been using Camtasia for a while, but that's a paid tool that allows me to cut out the beginning and end of the Zoom recordings and so on. Clipchamp comes with a similar tool, but also additional features. So just to give you an idea, it's an online camera, screen, and voice recorder. You can create audio recordings, you can add voiceovers, you can bring images and videos. There are some already embedded, some are free, some you have to pay for, but you can also bring your own content. So if you find images online, you have your own pictures, or you're using Canva, you can bring some of those images in. And then it's available in browser, desktop, so you can actually launch it from your computer and even on mobile devices. Now, very briefly, how do you get to it if you ever want to try it? For me, I usually use the browser. So the first way is clipchamp.com. It will take you to a website where you can navigate through it. If you use the waffle menu in Outlook, so when I'm in the browser, usually my Outlook has the waffle menu in the top left corner. When I click on it, it drops and shows me different applications, and then it will have it there as a Clipchamp. Now, if you have never used it, if this is your first time, it may not show up there. So a very quick tip, if you go to more apps, the list will grow and Clipchamp will be there. There will be a horizontal three dot menu. When you click on it, you can pin it. When you pin it, it will always show up in that list for you. So that way you will have this available if you like to go to your waffle menu to access it. Now, if you are using Windows environment, you also can access it in Windows 11 through your desktop, just from the start menu. If you're using Windows 10, you may have to install it from your Microsoft Store, but it is starting to be showing up and accessible through many ways. Now, what is it and how is it really working? When you go into it, there is this hub page that will show you your videos. You can actually record yourself. You can do camera recording. There's also projects you can create for that and playlists. It doesn't have a video generator the way we may have seen in other tools. What it really is to allow you to edit your videos or create videos from scratch. So when you go into it, and I apologize, the background is black when you go into Clipchamp, so it may be a bit hard to see, but I try to enlarge the tools on the left side. So on the left, your menu will include a section that says My Media, Record and Create. There's also text, music, stock videos that you can repurpose, stock images that you can use, templates you can set up for yourselves, graphics, transitions, and so on. So that's the tools you will get. And in the middle, you will get a screen where you can drop your videos and images. And below, there will be a toolbar that allows you to kind of put the pieces together. So you can put them in front, behind each other. You can kind of align them as you go. Some of the tools already exist like that, but this one has a very interesting one. Here, they also have text to speech. So just to give you an idea, what you can do is go back to your Copilot and say, I want something about reading for adults. So that's what I did. Went back to the Copilot and I said, my prompt is, um, what is reading? Why is reading important to adult learners? Even if you make mistakes in your prompts, Copilot actually understands what you're trying to say. It gave me a list of different important things because of this, because of this, because of this. So then I went back to Copilot and I said, okay, make it into a did you know? So it actually lists it as did you know? I can just copy that and paste it. And that's what I did. Copy that, went back into my Clipchamp, went into text to speech section and pasted that right in the box they give me. And on top of that box, you can choose the voice, and the system will read out your full text that you just prepared. And then you can align it with the videos and images you're bringing in. So that's what I did. I just basically dropped videos and images in different sections as the speaker is talking and created a video this way. 20 minutes. It took me 20 minutes to create this video. Just to show you, when you finish creating the video, you're going to be able to publish it, and the system will even give you a link that you can go to. It's going to host it for you in Microsoft. Or just to make this easier for you today, just to give you a preview, I uploaded into YouTube so I can play it for you. And I'm just going to play the first few seconds. Hopefully you can hear it.
Did you know? Reading builds confidence.
Can you hear
Adults
it?
who improve their reading skills feel more empowered to handle everyday tasks like filling out forms or reading instructions. Reading opens doors to jobs. Strong reading skills are essential for understanding workplace documents, safety guidelines, and professional training materials.
So you can see I really didn't do my voice. I just created that text using Copilot, brought it into Clipchamp, and then used the videos and images to basically illustrate what the speaker is saying. So this is just an example how you can create your videos in there. Those videos can be about some of the topics you're discussing, Thanksgiving, Christmas, anything you need to kind of illustrate to your students, you can do that with the Clipchamp as well. So I hope I got you excited about this tool. Again, when I edit my videos, I use Camtasia, but I'm going to make an effort to really use this one to see how it works because it seems to be fairly easy and accessible. Now, in my description for the session today, I told you we are going to look at exporting Word into PowerPoint. However, it seems that this specific feature got discontinued. So I couldn't really illustrate this for you, and this is the realities of technology. So I apologize for that. But one of the ways it was that when you were in your Word document, you could actually go to export, and one of the options was export to PowerPoint. Now, because the systems is changing or because Microsoft is really having Copilot do presentations for you, they are discontinuing that feature. However, I still included a link in the slides for you. This is here the instructions. That link will take you to Microsoft instructions how to do it. So if you want to try, because it may still be working on your desktop or your version you have, try it. It may still be there. But for me, it wasn't working. So I promised you I'll do it, but then I couldn't in the end. Now, another one that I wanted to highlight for you is transcribing and translating in Teams meetings. Now, many of you, today we are in Zoom, so it's a different feature, but Microsoft Teams also has a lot of amazing tools for you to use. You can record and so on. And most of the time, I was under the impression that you will get a transcript when you record the session. And it's true. It actually will generate the transcript automatically. But what if you don't want to record? You're having a meeting, you don't want a recording, but you want a transcript. And in Microsoft Teams, it is something that's possible. The system, if you go into record and transcribe section, will have an option to start the recording, and that's where your transcript will get generated automatically. Or you're not starting the recording, you can start transcription, and that will create the transcript for you. It will be visible on the screen. Who says what, you will be able to look at that. Now, in Zoom, you can do this as well. You can create a transcript and you can review it. But in Zoom, you have to be careful what happens with it because the system doesn't automatically save it, at least until now. But in Microsoft Teams, the system will save it with the record of your event in your calendar, Microsoft Teams calendar. When you go in there, you will have a section transcript and you will be able to open it and review it and use it. So it's kind of neat to know that you do not have to record to get history or transcript from your meeting if you want to use that. Now, there's also translation of the transcript. So in some situations, especially when we have groups where somebody may speak another language, the system will transcribe in the main language that's spoken in the group. So for us, it may be English. However, you may have somebody who may be from a different country, or the English may not be the best, and they may want to switch to their language. That feature is available, but in Teams Premium. So depending what package you have, it may not be accessible to you, but if your program or organization is using Teams Premium, you will be able to make that switch on top of the fact that you will get the transcript. So that may be something that you may want to explore as well. Now, the last one that I want to highlight is Planner. Now, I'm just going to quickly stop and look at the chat. Can I ask you, have you tried Planner before? Yes or no? Just quick yes or no in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses, but mostly no. One of the things that I'm struggling sometimes with the tools is that sometimes you don't even know they exist. You have to go to those apps, open it, and kind of start looking what kind of apps do I have access to. So I really can see that many of you haven't heard about that. So Planner is really similar to To-Do in Outlook. So if you have used Outlook, there's a check mark or check box, and then you can click on that, and it will allow you to create your to-do lists. So it could be something that you plan for every day and so on. However, the planner actually is from the business perspective something that the team can share and use. So you will be able to actually use it on an organizational level rather than more individual level when you have to-do lists. Okay. Now, what's really nice about that is that when you build your planner, when you build different activities, you can assign them to different people. And by assigning them to somebody else, let's say I will assign something that needs to be done to my manager, he will get notification and it will get added to his to-do list because he's assigned to do it. So it becomes his personal task. So he has to do that. I'm including links for all those so you'll be able to go back. But what I wanted to show you is that same as with the Clipchamp, same here. You can go through a planner cloud.microsoft and you'll be able to access it. It's also in the waffle menu in Outlook. You can find it in your apps and also now in Microsoft Teams. If you're using Microsoft Teams, it will be in the menu under more apps. You'll be able to find it. So what is it? What really it does, it actually helps you to manage your to-do list, tasks, and projects. Okay. So when you open it, you will see basically a list for the day if you want to look at it that way. And it will tell you, okay, you are supposed to finalize your slides. You put the deadline for it for today. Have you done it? If you do it, you do a check mark and it's done. I have other things that I need to do. So here is my list to remind me. But there's also my plans, and plans are slightly different. In my plans, you can actually build a plan for different purposes. Now, I don't know if this one would be the best illustration, but I'm trying to kind of give you some ideas. So, for example, you can create columns. This is the board view that allows you to kind of create columns. And I have been thinking of instructors working with learners. And when you work with a learner, the path for the learner is kind of long. There's the intake process. The learner is in your program, then they exit, and then you have to do follow-ups. So for example, this is just an example, you could actually have a plan for a specific learner, let's say it's Jane, and I can have all the tasks that I may need to follow up on do for Jane. So on intake, she will come in for the first time. She may need to meet with the instructor or coordinator. They may be registrations and assessments. So I try to break down some of the things I need to do with Jane into that intake column. Then I have the learning column when there will be class participation, quizzes, tests, milestones. Each of those is a task, and they can be broken down into further tasks or subtasks or can be repeated. So in the learning, you could actually have week 1, week 2, week 3, or you can actually do activities based on the numbers you're doing. You can actually reorganize it, but you can still track what you're doing with that specific learner based on some of those tasks. Then you have exit. Have I given them the feedback form? Have I, done the satisfaction survey? Anything that I need to do, I can have it there as checklist. So you can build a plan for your learners. It could be a learner plan. It could be your event you're organizing. Anytime you build those, you can have specific information for each of the tasks. So now if I have my meeting with the coordinator and somebody, if I click on it, it opens up more details. And in more details for that task, I can assign when does it start, when does it end. I can have notes. So if it was the first visit, I can just say, Jane came in today. We didn't have time to give her any documentation, but she's going to come back on Tuesday. And then I can schedule another task for Tuesday saying, Jane is coming in. I need to have my documentation ready. So your plan can help you manage information about your learner as you're going. Okay. So I hope that gives you some ideas of how you can use a plan. Explore it because it has a lot of different, it's fairly simple to use, but it can really help you. Now, final thing I want to show you, this is a bit of a bonus. And this is really because one of my colleagues I was working with, we were scheduling a meeting. I sent her in the invitation and she accidentally declined. And I'm not sure if you noticed, when you're invited to a meeting, it shows in your Outlook, but when you accept or decline, it disappears from your list. It gets added to your calendar, but if you declined, it doesn't get added to your calendar. So she was frantic, messaged me saying, I lost your invitation. What do I do? So we did a bit of research And actually, if you go to your deleted items in your email, that invitation will still be there. And then you can open it and you can change decline to accept, and that will add it back to your calendar. So if you ever got stuck with those situations where you accidentally declined or you just missed it or something, there's a fairly quick way to find it in your deleted box and you can access it. Okay? So 12:59, I had half an hour. Hopefully I inspired you. If I did, put it in the chat. What else did you, was there anything that you learned that was new or different? Let me know. I also have a bit of a feedback that I hope you will be willing to fill out. I can send it after our lunch and learn, or I can post it here. So bear with me for a second. But also we have more sessions coming up. So we will have AI tips coming up in January, social media and marketing coming up in February. Again, half an hour, some ideas. But also my team, Tracy and Guylaine, are doing Develop a Personal Learning Network PD. So if you haven't heard about that, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's also included in the slide. So I'm going to put the slides right in the chat one more time. It's the last page. And before you go, I'll still post the link to my feedback form, but I know some of you have to run. And if you can't do it now, I'll send it later. I can see raised hands, so I'm just going to pause and stop and let you speak. So,
thank you very much. Welcome.
okay, so who was first? Smita, you're unmuted. I'll let you go first. Go ahead,
Yes, I
Smita.
just have a quick question because we need to get back to the classes.
Yes.
My question is same what I asked you earlier. Like whenever I'm reviewing some activities or revising some topic for a test that's coming up next day or something, I see that some of the learners are absent, and I want to capture that revision session. So I know we were using screencasting, some kind of
Yes,
app
you
that
can
does
do
the
that.
video recording when we were working with our AlphaPlus project.
Yep.
So what's the difference between that and this app, and which is better? And
So
that's my
the
question.
Clipchamp is really more for editing the videos. You can still
Okay.
capture with it, potentially point it at the class or the board, and then it will record the audio. But you do have many options. You can use Zoom, you can use Microsoft Teams. Any of the tools will allow you to record the audio and the screen if you want to show the screen or the board in your class. And that way it will actually also generate your transcript. I think
Actually,
that's
I
what we
want
were
to avoid
discussing.
doing I want to avoid doing the video recording because the other learners are there and I've not asked them to sign any consent forms. So when I'm sending to learners who are absent, I can't really do the whole class video recording. I just want my screen and myself audio recording and my screen in case I'm using, or just the audio recording is also fine.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
this the what do you call
The Clipchamp.
cam is it only for editing, or is it the sole purpose is for
There is a
recording?
no, both. It has a
Both.
recording feature. You can record the screen, you can record the audio, you choose what you want to record. But it's the same with Microsoft Teams or Zoom. If any of those tools, you do not have to record the class. You can just record your screen, or you can even turn off the video altogether. You can just do the screen and the sounds as well. So you may have to choose, but I think that's sort of the only way you can record it. You do have to record something. Yeah.
So I have the lesson open in the Microsoft Word form, and from there I go to the clip recording, and maybe I will
Yep.
not
Try it.
display the smart board, but only on my laptop facing
Yes,
me,
exactly.
on my voice and my screen. But so the front view is not recorded. I'm just going to
Exactly.
try this desperately because I see always there are a couple of learners who are very keen and wanted to revise this topic, and unfortunately they're absent. So this would be a good one, I guess. Thank you.
Try it, and let us know. Let us know. Perfect, Smita. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Bye,
No
everyone.
problem. No
As
problem.
usual.
Jane, you also had a question. Raised your hand.
Hi, thank you. Yes. First of all, I'm sorry my camera's not on. I'm at home today, so I'm doing you a favor by keeping it off. It's not pretty. My question is about the Clipchamp. I've been on there since you brought it up. I've been sort of multitasking, listening and then,
Yep,
oh, look
of
at that, and
course.
going back and forth. So I recall a few presentations back, I think you showed us a Google
Yes,
video
equals
thing.
Google Vids, Google
Google
Video.
Vid.
Yeah.
Do you have one that you think works better? Google Vid or Clipchamp?
It just depends
They're
what you're
probably
trying to
different.
do. Yeah, they're very different in a way. This one is more editor and allows you to create videos, but in a different way. What Google Vid was doing, it had built an AI to do some of that work for you and also had
Yes.
templates. So depending on which one you prefer, I'm a Google user most of the time. So I
Yeah.
kind of go towards Google Vids just because of the features. But I also am very realistic that there are programs and organizations that actually have to use Microsoft products. So then the
Yes.
Copilot may be one of the tools that they may have to use, and this one may be helping with some of the features they're looking for. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What about any kind of it, since we're creating the content and we use free stuff that they give us that they've provided, there's no copyright problems?
No, so basically they allow you to use the content that they give you. You can use that for sure. In Clipchamp, when you're looking for videos and images, you will have some free, and it says free to use. And then after that, there's a premium version of it. But the video I created, and again, it wasn't a very long time for me. I just basically did search for different words, and then it
Yeah,
would pop up with different videos. Looked for the ones that were free, and then put it in, and it literally just drag and drop into your
yeah.
timeline, and then you have the video ready.
Well, it was really impressive. So I hope I can learn to do that.
It's
Thank you.
very intuitive. So if you ever want me to do more detail or we want to work together, let me know.
Okay.
One thing that I noticed, and I'm going to warn everyone, is I think because they're kind of still launching it, for me, what was happening is that I would be testing it and all of a sudden it will disappear and a new project, because they call them projects for each video, will show up. But don't worry, it saves everything you have done. So I will just go back to the system, find my, I was project 2, open it up, and then continue working on it. So it happened to me 2 or 3 times, but I really think it's just because the system is kind of still being developed. But it can be really handy, and it's included in your package, at least the free version. So you can start with that and see if it's helping.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone else has a question, but I should have put this on my feedback form, but maybe we could revisit Canva. They've just added so many new features, and I don't know if they have a video editing type of thing in there, but it might be worth going back just because of the explosion of AI in it.
Yes. Yes. So many different sections. It's kind of popping up everywhere. I know we are over, but I'm just going to mention for whoever stayed, when I was doing the image, I'm going to jump to it just to kind of remind you where I was with that. So Clipchamp was after Copilot. It's the one that I was doing for my coaching, this image. It's interesting because when it generated the image, there is an option to edit. So I clicked on the edit button, but I couldn't really edit. I couldn't change the wording or anything like that. It was kind of trying to erase things, but it was just smudging everything. So again, depending on the tools you use, and many of us are used to Canva because it was around for a while. We kind of, like my reaction was like, oh, it's great, but I still want to go back to Canva because I can edit. But if you're looking for simple things, or the system will do a template for you or something, it's always worth trying. And again, I was really very mindful of the fact that some organizations are not allowed to use Google or are not allowed to use external tools. They should be using Microsoft tools. So what are some of the things that they could be trying? Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, every time you talk, you say something else I want to ask, and I feel bad.
Okay.
Other people are probably waiting for their turn, but like if you're creating, I'm trying to maybe create some curriculum. How are we now? Like, how do you cite? Like, do you say this
Yes.
image came from Canva? This image came from Copilot? Because I'm trying everything, and I'm like, shoot, I don't even know what I use to make this stupid thing. And is that important? Do I have to like cite the source for everything, or just put something at the beginning of my thing to say I used AI to help me? Because I don't want people coming at me saying, you didn't write that, or you know what I mean? And not just the writing for plain language, but the images. Like, I'm not
Yes.
sure how to
Yes.
approach.
Absolutely. So I will include, I didn't include it this time because we covered that somewhere else, but I will bring one more slide into our presentation. So when I will be sending the links, I'll remind everyone. There is a bit of a format where you can actually reference that you use AI. And most of the time it basically says which AI you use, like, Copilot, this is the prompt I used and the date. Usually that's what people will mention at the bottom. But many people, like in the regular presentations and slides, they really don't say it's necessary. So sometimes it's a preference, I would say, or organizational approach, or if it's educational system, then the teachers want to know. And then, it's easier to, and better sometimes, to encourage your students and yourself to reference it, just to teach that, yes, I'm using AI, but I'm referencing it for you to show that I actually use the AI. So when the students are working with some of those tools, they have that habit of mentioning, I use this prompt or something. So you have an idea of what they did, rather than going after them saying, well, you used the AI and you didn't tell me, right? It's one of those things because we have everybody has conversations around that AI is kind of here to stay. It may be better or worse, it may change, but we many of us are using, students are using those. I hear students in universities, they record the session, they go back, put the transcript into the AI tools, they get summaries, they get questions, they get practice exercises, all that using AI. So why are we fighting that if they're using it? We want to kind of go back and teach them how to use it responsibly, and what are the side effects, what is really happening, why it's happening, and is it good or bad, right? So it's really kind of adapting in a way as we are going with all those tools. So I'll include that feature or that
That's
slide to let
excellent.
you
And
know.
maybe we need a lunch and learn just on something like that, because I use AI to help me often create content, but I'm like, I'm still you know what I mean? I'm still using my brain, but I want to be ethical. And I guess the ethics
Absolutely.
of AI, I've attended ethics of AI things, but um, I don't know. I just feel like I'm learning so many things, but it's just like that. I'm not learning them well enough to really know what I'm doing.
We all,
I just
I
want to do
think
the
we're
right thing and I'm not sure how.
absolutely, and I see Alison is giving you thumbs up. I think we're all in the same boat. We want to do it what's right, but at the same time, what what I also want to do is I want to show these features and things that could be exciting. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's always very good, but we want to know and be aware what's out there, and as you said, use it responsibly as well. Yeah. One of the reasons I don't think I use it here, because the AI session is coming back in January, and that's when we'll be talking more about the prompts. I actually will want to show you. We did a virtual showcase recently, and we had some guests who actually showed how they set up their chatbots. They call them bots. So basically, the prompt, you can be putting it every time. You can actually have the AI remember that prompt and then work with you using the instructions to generate specific type of content for you, like plain language content and so on. So we'll touch on that in January as well. I'll bring that into it because Copilot has that feature. Just so you know, there is a feature. They call them agents. So if you're in Copilot and you see something in agent, you can click on that and you can see that you can set up your agent to help you process the information in a specific way, customize it to your needs in a way. And the easiest way for me to explain it is that I have seen it in Google because Gemini has it as well. They call them gems rather than agents. And in Gemini, the example is storybook. So you have an agent that will write a storybook based on your prompt. It will do illustrations, it will break down the content, and then write a story. So you can say, write a story about my dog. You can put a picture in or a similar picture, and the system will create a storybook for your kids or for adults if you want about the dog. So a lot of different agents you can set up, or gems or bots as well. So we'll touch on some of those things as well. Perfect. Other questions? I think it went well, but I would love to see how other people create theirs. I will include I haven't had a chance to finish, but we just concluded our showcase this past Tuesday. So we have a recording where Ryan from Labor Education Center shows how he has set up his bot, and he also shared with us his actual instructions. So that's going to be a separate document that you will be able to go back and copy paste into your own bots, agents or gems, and then you can see what it will do for you. I did that I did it in Copilot, I think, and it was pretty neat how it's simplified. So, for example, in this case, I took an article about a writer from one of the news sites, pasted that into that bot, and the system simplified the language. And I said, make it even shorter, made it even shorter, but still highlighted some of the main features of the article. So that was pretty cool as well. Summarized in a way. Yeah, but also made it plain language. So I will share that with you as well with the follow-up email. Any other questions or comments? I see you're staying, but I don't want to turn off the recording because you may have some tips or ideas or anything else. Let me know. If we are good, I'm going to just turn everything off and wish you a great day. Perfect. Thank you so much,
Thank
Suzanne.
you. It was
Thank you.
great.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.